YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha, back in the build for a video that I've been putting off for the longest. I needed to make this 2 weeks ago when I actually had this girl ready for this showcase, but we're talking about 2B, everybody, and I'm hoping, obviously I am late, right? Tweaks has done a bunch of showcases. I know that nerd DK did a showcase on her that was really good, so I wanted to get in a Buddha showcase for our girl 2B for those who started during the NieR Automata collab and picked up this girl, especially for new players and even for some mid-range players, for some mid-game players. You now have one of the most feature-complete units that we've ever seen, one of the best units to start with, arguably the best to start with. I know her and Baron, they're kind of at a tight race, and there are just a couple differences that really you can make the argument that both of them stand out as units that you could basically start the game with, and they can carry you as a solo DPS throughout the entire game, at least for the story that we have currently, right? When you get into the more technical world bosses and harder difficult content, you're going to need a little bit more strategy than just bullying your way with one unit. But honestly, 2B's pretty damn close to being able to do just that for a couple of different reasons. So in this showcase, we're going to be looking at her 4-star potential, right? Because a lot of players, even new players, you're going to be able to 5-star her, but the amount of mats that it takes to grind out, unless they're just handed to you, you're not going to be seeing that 5-star potential for a while. It's going to take you a bit, and most players are going to be hovering around the potential we're looking at in this showcase, that 4-star, 108 out of 108 ability board unlocked. Thank you to whoever just subscribed. And that's why I want to take a look at 2B in this state. And spoiler alert, she is still a tornado of a force to use. She's going to be super useful, like I said, in story clearing and even in multiplayer. Just a couple differences. First, let's look at, I have her with 0 equips on and just her raw skills that she comes with. So you can see she's looking like this in the stat department, right? About 4,400 HP. She does have relatively low HP, especially when you have, I think it's her OS chip. Not the OS chip, but the plug-in chips. But even the OS chip as well, because it contributes to some stats, but not HP. When you have all the plug-in chips equipped, they kind of balance each other out. But at the very end, if you've got all of them equipped, you're coming out with a minus 15% HP, which does affect her quite a bit. As you can see, like HP at 4,400 for a new modern unit is relatively low, so I do recognize that as kind of one of her weaknesses to start with. She does have a negative 30 to dark as well, so she can get ripped up by Lugs in arena. And then ailment resistance is the only problem, is she is weak to both illness and curse, which is a pretty big downfall. She is nil to stun, which is quite nice, and nil to blind as well. But those two weaknesses are pretty potent when you're looking at arena and getting inflicted with status ailments. With story, these don't matter too much, but I'm thinking more in arena, she does have that flaw. Some other differences before she is 5-starred and unlocked. She does have a 4,000 cap instead of 5,000. I think this 40% damage goes up to 50% when she's 5-star. And then she just has this awkward, like, restore HP by 16%. I think when it's 5-star, it's at 20%. And SET goes up to 10 seconds when she gets upgraded. So just some minor differences. As we're going to see, her performance is absolutely stellar still in this state. So let's just start by taking her into a pretty average stage in the story with a very basic free-to-play build on her and see how she does. Alright, so to start off with 2B's basic free-to-play general DPS build, I decided to go with everything that's available very early game and only skills that are available on R and SR arcs, so we can get a good picture of what she's like with basically what anyone can put on her. So obviously with those limitations, I had to be very exclusive, so we're looking at a lot of stat ups, things that I wouldn't normally put on her, but just things to fill that 80 out of 80 SC with very basic skills. Let's take a look in this view. So you can see I've stacked a bunch of HP ups on her, right? Don't forget, these are all accessible on Rs and SR arcs, all the skills that you're going to see on her. These attack ups, defense ups, magic defense ups are actually very useful. If you're a newer player, you probably don't know or haven't learned yet that MND is what affects your Proud Force heals, which is something that is extremely important, one, for physical DPS, because your criticals are going to be what heal you, and those heals are going to scale off of your MND stat. So getting an extra plus 17%, she already has a pretty decent MND at base, so getting any extra there is going to help us a lot. Anything with a 0 SC, as we know, is what comes in her kit. So you can see Fighting Spirit Resolve up, Critical up. I did give her Critical up 3, which you can find on Beast Hunter, Aim Vitals, because with this kind of build, we're not going to be hitting caps with our white damage, so we will be wanting to see those bigger numbers on the crits where Aim Vitals does become useful. As you can see here, Proud Force, criticals hit, recover HP, and we know that 2B has a pretty fat and nice kit for dealing critical damage. So this is she's going to be able to sustain herself very well. Illusion will come in handy on occasion. She does have Machine Slayer, although we're not going to be fighting any machines in this stage particularly. I did give her Special Boost because this is the golden combo for increasing your physical damage against a certain type of enemy. Since she comes with Machine Slayer, if a unit comes with Slayer, you throw Special Boost in their kit. It's just kind of like an unspoken rule. Even though we're not going to be fighting any machines, and I could take this 6 SC and put it somewhere else, I just decided to pair it up with the Slayer that she has available. Then we've got Fast Protection and Fast Barrier. Just two easy skills that you can put on when you're starting the game. These fast skills, for those who don't know, I get a lot of questions, what's the difference between fast and auto, right? So there's fast protection and then there's also auto protection. Fast is a 40-second buff, so it is temporary. Auto is a permanent buff. The give and take with that is that your fast skills cost 2 SC, whereas the auto skills range from like 7 to 14 SC that they're going to cost you. So very important. As you can see here right below auto critical, she comes with her kit. That's a 9 SC save. Incredible. I did give her auto regen because I had 11 SC just hanging around, and I figured why not give her some more sustain. This is something that you can get from, I believe it's the SR arc, Maiden's Prayer, the SR arc. So you'll have access to that. She comes with auto haste, which is huge. Comes with awaken, which is giant. I gave her pride because of that crazy self-sustain that we're probably going to see her have. She will be sitting at max HP most of the time, so that'll give her that plus 20% strength. Comes with some very nice no attribute attack raises. That actually brings up the point as well that 2B is so incredible because she's a no attribute attacker. If you're a new player and you've done a little bit of research, you'll see everyone saying get Caldina the Great. I even promote it, get Caldina the Great, so you can get the Arc Ether reward Trishula in order to help out your elemental damage dealers against anyone who resists their particular element. With 2B, you don't have to worry about that. She is so feature complete. One of those reasons is because she's no attribute. So elemental resistances don't apply to this machine beast. She comes with Pose of Glory, which is a great way to sustain SCT when you're early game fighting waves upon waves with enemies. You can constantly be regenerating your SCT. Surprise Attack and Backstab are both incredible damage multipliers for 6 SC. That's an extra 80% damage just if you're positioned behind the enemy. Blessed Speed to give her some more movement speed, which is great because she is a close range physical attacker. Comes with Triple Impact. Comes with Dual Wield. The one big reason she's so feature complete is because she's no attribute attack. The second reason is because she comes with Dual Wield. So her damage, her DPS I should say, is what is so stand out. One because she's dual wield, one because she's no attribute attack, and the speed at which she attacks, absolutely incredible. Sword Boost and Sword Mega Boost are huge that she comes with that in her kit. Quick Reload is another way to just make sure you have SCT available in skill stocks. I gave her Decoy because that is available on an SR arc. Magic Mirror Pomran, I think it's called, and just very good to have in order to make sure your units survive early game. Combo Master she comes with because we know her kit is centered heavily around combos. That's what raises her damage cap and physical damage multiplication. I, of course, have all of her chips activated because I like the stat boost that you get. I don't mind the minus 15% HP when all is said and done. And then these last 3 unique skills to her are what she's coming with. In terms of equipment, I do have early game equipment on her. The only thing that's going to be a little more end game is that I have Star Sword Lometis at a plus 40. So just take away 40 off of that attack. 101 attack stat sword. But what is nice is that it gives that crit rate plus 5%. I did include her free grindable weapon that we could get from the NieR Automata collab event. Hopefully you grinded this up, even if it's not at plus 40, just because the trait that it comes with is going to be very good for new players and perfect for 2B. It's a no attribute weapon, so it scales with her normal attacks and those damage boosts. Driftstone is another item that I love, an accessory, because it just gives that 15% to airborne enemies, and a lot of her skills do pick up enemies into the air, so you'll get that damage boost. And then Deadly Choker is just another 3% crit rate for an accessory. So very, very free-to-play friendly build. Let me not forget to mention Aldana Coliseum, I think, is going to be huge and should not be overlooked for newer players, because once you can get this, first it's an SR arc, so you'll have access to this very early in your last Cloudia career. And at level 10, the trait is as follows. Battle start grants flinch resistance for a certain time. We know that that flinch resistance, I believe, is 40 seconds. Let me confirm. It's a 30-second buff. Let me not get ahead of myself. It is a 30-second buff, but when you're clearing out these early waves and early stages in story, your battles are usually not going to last that long. So one of 2B's biggest weaknesses is that she can get flinched out of her moves, and her DPS is very reliant on her moves going until are her skills going to completion. This is going to be a huge way to counteract her getting flinched out of those moves in the beginning of battle, so that you can get your full amount of damage off, which should then just shred through enemies. So for those multi-wave stages in which you are just mowing through bosses or mowing through mobs, I think this is going to be a great arc for you to take advantage of. Maybe don't focus so heavily on your SSR arcs for this girl, and use something like this, which will counteract one of her biggest weaknesses that she has. That's actually one of the reasons that Baron can arguably be more beneficial for a new player versus 2B. If you've watched some of my previous character build showcases, you'll know I like the stage Encroaching Dead because it's got a nice amount of waves, good amounts of enemies in each of those waves, and then it ends on a pretty annoying final stage because you have multiple enemies that are all flinch resistant, so you can't crowd control them so easily. And it really brings out the test of, can a character withstand that kind of pressure that an enemy is going to have from time to time. So let's go ahead and bring this very basic general DPS build of 2B into this stage and see what she's about. We're not taking her into hard mode because I don't think she would survive too well. But this is, again, more to showcase her in a state where this build's going to be very relevant. So we're not starting off with any skill stock. We're just going to go with some normal attacks, let things charge up. She should be just fine. You see those crazy heals all over the place. And let's let this, actually, you can see that we're not getting flinched right there because of that Aldana Coliseum SR arc. And then once we've got some mirages, once we get her skills going off, she's looking really good. Those damage numbers weren't too accurate compared to what we're probably going to see on average because we know those turtles have very high defenses. Here will be a good showcase. Let's go ahead and start with a Furious Blade. And there we go. We can see those crits. She's not quite getting to cap, but she is shredding through enemies. We're getting above 10,000 with those crits, so I'm not mad at it at all. Mirage is definitely one of her best skills that she has because it is a teleport, so you can immediately get in range. If we go ahead and target someone right in the middle, we can probably see a good advantage to this. Here we go. We'll target this Hell Executor and Mirage away. Boom! You could see just numbers flying all over the screen, and everything is dead. It's a very nice AoE skill, and it's one of her strong suits because with dual wield, it's a 30-hit skill. We know, and it's very fast. We know that with the speed of attacks and high hit counts, it makes DPS units, it makes the DPS on units typically super impressive. Let's go ahead and do the same thing we just did. Target this middle guy and Mirage away, get some nice kills very early on. I didn't mean to hit her special, but we're going to be able to see it. It's an interesting dynamic or mechanic because it starts off as an AoE and then it singles out a unit and finishes off the rest of it. Again, I don't really care so much about specials. Just there you go. You got to see it in action. Not like many of you haven't already seen it before. But here we go. Here's the stage that's going to be tricky. If we can't finish these guys off within that 30-second mark, things are going to get pretty tough. And we know that these enemies are pretty tanky, but I think we'll be able to get the job done. So let's just start off with a blast of mirages and hopefully get these guys, get a lot of AoE damage done before they start just running all over the screen because they don't like to be controlled. So Mirage right here, very nice damage to start out, and we're definitely going to take that. We're going to try and just exercise as much DPS as we can before our flinch resistance goes away. If I can just get a couple of them dead before that happens, we're going to be sitting in a pretty good spot. So you can see they're just running all over the place. That S3 did just work very well, and it seems that our flinch resistance is gone because I think we're getting flinched. Oh, no, we're not. No, we still got it. Nope, there we go. The 30 seconds is up, so now we have 3 of these rascals left. We're slowed down. We got no skill stock, and things are very tough. We've still got Awaken. We've got Decoy, right? So we're looking pretty good. We got a Mirage available again. Sadly, they're not as grouped up as I'd like them to be, but we're going to target this guy and see if we can catch the other 2. Right. Oh, look at that. I just got flinched out of it. This might be actually a situation where our S4 comes in handy. We weren't able to kill the other mobs completely, and we've still got the main boss to deal with. But I think if we can target this guy, he should be done with this S1 if I can get to him. That slow from these enemies is truly annoying. Poison Cloud is terrible. We will probably be getting fainted here shortly. Once we take a certain amount of hits, there is just no turning back until we're able to recover from it. But we know we have some good sustained skills, like I said, Awaken and Decoy in case things get a bit hairy. But only worrying about one of these guys, I'm not super worried about it. This might be where we get fainted. No, I'm going to try and let him come to me and then end it right there. So we were able to get the job done. Listen, with a build like this, super basic, getting through this stage solo is still very impressive. So for newer players, she's going to be an absolute asset for your early game clearing. And yeah, I'm happy that she looked so good. And even Aldana Coliseum showed off why it is such a good arc on her, just because of that flinch resistance weakness that it counteracts. Okay, so you know we got to do a little bit of showcasing against a world boss for these Buddha builds. So we've got a setup here that's definitely not as free-to-play friendly. We obviously got Gen, we do have Ruto, and we have some things on 2B that are going to be more end game, and you have to luck your way into certain SSR arcs and have patience and put some efforts towards upgrading arcs to get certain skills. But we're going to break down how I have 2B built here, and I can explain it as we go. So obviously, we're wanting to go hyper offensive. We're going to be fighting Lambda, which is a machine type. So we know she's going to be getting her Slayer bonuses, which is going to look great. Went ahead and stacked up all the attack ups because I had just an extra 10 SC lying around. Then, of course, she comes with the skills with 0 SC. I do have critical up on her. After that, I just focused on giving her certain things to increase that DPS. She comes with that Machine Slayer and special boost. I do have bow equip on her, and you will see why when we check out the arc that we're running. No attribute attack raise. It is an 11 SC, but it just gives that 20% no attribute attack damage that I'd like to see. I tried not to put any collab specific skills on her, So that's why we're going with things like no attribute attack raise rather than maybe like phone booth or something. Purple orb was another thing that I like to put on her, but you had to be around during DMC. Goddess Kiss we have on her because we will want to recharge her MP in order to take advantage of another skill we're going to see. Surprise attack and backstab we are going to be utilizing with the team strategy that we have currently. Piercing, I had an extra 7 SC and I had this taught to her. Some of this showcases what is limited from what I've taught to her. Haven't gotten all the skills I'd like to on her yet, so we're working with what we got. That includes piercing, and we'll see. It's not a very popular skill to run, but again, she comes with so much already that she has a lot of extra room to just put other things on her. There's all the skills that we know she comes with already. I do have decoy on her just for extra survivability. On a skill, on a stage like this, I'll probably end it before, you know, Lambda goes into that self-destruct mode, but this would help in that case. In case she does go down, then she comes back. Sharp Eyes is the skill I was talking about for that MP regen. We're going to burn through that MP, and then we'll want to normal attack our way back up to full MP, and she does get super nice Goddess Kiss procs because of that no attribute boost that she has. Nothing resists it. On her normal attack, she's getting some nice fat damage numbers, so you can get those nice MP recharges. And then I think everything else below here is what she already comes with. In terms of equipment, we can see I do have Scarlet Blade on her because I do believe we'll be able to get to damage cap fairly easily, so why not stack another 1500 on her. Brave Bow Experion, this is more end game stuff. This is a Godforge bow. I don't even have it to plus 40 yet, but it does give us an extra 5% crit rate and some extra Slayer boosts. I don't know how this trait exactly correlates to Slayer bonuses. If special boost affects the damage here, it's not going to matter since we're taking on a machine type enemy, but the main reason for the bow is the arc, like I said before. Hail Sovereign's Ring is the multiplayer ring that you can get. Takes a long time to get your 100 rare multi-coins, especially if you're a casual player. But this is definitely the first thing you're going to want to pick up in the multiplayer shop. And then Mithril Relief is also very nice. It's the Arc Ether reward from Swordsman's Tale, or the Silver Gray Swordsman, I think it's called. When a sword is equipped, boost movement speed and skill damage plus 10%. So just some extra efforts to get her to damage cap. And the arc, of course, is Heaven's Bow. Star-Lord looks really nice on her and is a good replacement for Icy Guardian because it reads as follows. The attribute when bow is equipped, that's the Experion that we have, critical rate plus 10% right there. Damage against weaknesses plus 25% we don't get to utilize with 2B since she's a no attribute attacker. She doesn't scale off of enemies that are weak because there's no element involved. And then grants extra attack for each critical. We know that 2B pumps out criticals already, so she's going to get a lot of extra damage from those criticals. And they're going to be of neutral typing. So with Icy Guardian, you do have to take into consideration the enemy's ice resistance. With Heaven's Bow Star-Lord, it is a decreased amount in damage. I think it's only 25% of your critical damage is converted to an extra attack. Icy Guardian, it's 48 to 50%, but it's a consistent 25% since there are no elemental resistances involved. So a very good arc on 2B for that reason. And then, of course, I'm not going to go in depth with these other two, but Ruto's there in order to draw the boss's attention, have the boss face Ruto, and position 2B behind it so that we don't take any damage and we can just spam our skills without getting flinched. Gen is going to be there for the cheese, for the WAP spamming so that 2B constantly has skill stock on her. Might make a lot of people sad because you can't utilize that technique, but since we chased WAP and we got it, you better be damn sure that I'm going to use it. So let's go ahead and check out 2B's 4-star DPS potential against a very HP heavy boss. So to start, let's go ahead and run 2B behind Lambda and then maybe start getting some debuffs off. Actually, we want to get Gen out of the way. Hopefully 2B doesn't run too far. So as you can see, Lambda's facing forward. You can't see Ruto because he's weirdly under the boss, but now 2B's positioned behind Lambda, so we get all that backstab and surprise attack damage. We're going to go ahead and hit 2B with a Winry's Apple Pie and get to work. Let's go ahead, and you can already see the damage is very substantial. I think we are capping on whites and crits, so we're getting all those extra attack damages and it's just a beautiful thing. What I didn't do is time our WAPs correctly. So now we did lose our combo, but you can see we've already got about 25% of Lambda's health shaved off. For my vets, you already know that health pool for Lambda is very significant, and usually the first time you take on this boss, it's going to take a while to get this boss taken down. But if we could switch over to Gen, get that recharge, get her another full skill stock, we'll see how quickly we're able to shave that down. So let's go ahead, normal attack with our boy. Hopefully he gets some MP Goddess Kiss procs off sooner rather than later. 2B's being good, staying behind the boss. She's not moving in front. Gen, I don't know, did I change his build? Or am I just getting super unlucky? No, there those Goddess Kiss procs, finally. Taking a while. We just need to get to 200 MP, and there it is. So let's go ahead and get ready with our girl once again. Boom, and we can start off once again. The combo is flying up, so we've got her full passive active, a lot of damage boosts, a lot of cap raises, and the speed at which we are throwing those moves is extremely significant. Gen is just not doing me too much justice with these Goddess Kiss procs while we're hanging out here. 2B did just get hit right there, but I think she's still positioned behind the boss. And Gen is really holding up the show right now. But, you know, we're making our way. You can see, I think this is one of the fastest times that I'm going to have in beating Lambda. I might as well try and finish this stage rather than back out as soon as I kill it, just to see. I think Ruta will be able to help us tank it till the very end. We've got Winry's Apple Pie ready. Let's go ahead and switch to 2B. Use these before it's too late. And with this last amount of skill stock, I think we're going to finish the job. You can see how quickly that health bar is melting. And there we go. We've destroyed this thing. We have absolutely destroyed this thing. Let's switch to you and pop off invincibility if I can get it. And then Ruta will be our savior because he's not going to take any damage during the duration of this. We can also pop, I don't actually know if any of Gen's skills will help us here, but at the very least, Ruta is going to tank all of this right here. And even then, I don't like, the damage is so insignificant that we're just chilling. So I'm going to get this nice time. I think this will be our best time. And there you go. There's a good showcase of a pretty fleshed out DPS potential from 2B. It's quite ridiculous, right? We've got Decoy, we've got Awaken. So as soon as we're done with the theatrics here, I think we're chilling. I think we're absolutely chilling. And there we go. There is the Lambda boss done in a very good amount of time without trying to like optimize it. I know Tweaks is insane and he's got videos of 2B just optimized and shredding that thing down, but we did it in 2 minutes for a very casual showcase. It's pretty crazy. We got that 150 or more hit combo easily with 2B because we know her skills are so spammable. They combo up so quickly because of those high hit counts, and she's just wonderful to work with. And I think I'm happy with those 2 showcases with 2B. We got to see a very, very budget, free-to-play, friendly build to start that's going to help out a lot of new players. And then we also got to see a more tailored build that you'll be able to do after approaching endgame, getting some more experience with how to tailor a build for 2B. And hopefully that gives you 2 nice snapshot images, and you can start playing around. You're thinking, what skills should I be working on? What skills should I be looking for, and which arcs have them in order to put them on 2B and bring out a lot of that damage potential that she has. She's just an incredible unit. Like I said, very minimal effort goes into this girl to make her an absolute dominator on your account. So if you have her and you're wondering if you're starting off, well, you are. You're starting off leagues ahead of a lot of other people that aren't getting to start out with 2B. So there's a good showcase of what she looks like at 4 stars, right? 4th Awakened, 108 out of 108, and some nice builds on her. Please use this girl to your advantage if she's not your main focus. If you were not told to start building 2B as soon as you got her, if you're a new player, shift that focus and give this girl some love. I know a lot of people have already felt the power of her because she's been out for probably over 2 weeks now. I don't even remember when the collab was live. I've just been slacking on this video, but I think we did it some justice. And I was able to give a good portrayal of what this girl is capable of. So enjoy 2B if you have her. If not, hopefully a character that dominates as much as her will be coming in the near future for anyone who did miss out. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know any questions you have, any build alternatives that you might have or have questions on. Leave it in the comments below, and hopefully I or someone else will get to it just to spread the love, spread the knowledge. If there's any other advice, tips, and tricks that I forgot to mention with this girl, please mention it down below, of course. And I think she's worthy of the 5-star, just how impressive she is. I do need to do a bit of multiplayer farming, so I think I'm going to push this girl up there just to get a little bit of extra damage cap. This second trait's not really important to me, and I'm actually not sure if she comes with other skills outside of what's already in her board with her 5-star enhancement, so maybe one of you guys can tell me that. With that being said, guys, that's all I got for you this time. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you know when I post immediately. In case of emergency, you won't be out of the loop. And like we always say, work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.